Hey guys, so Wyatt is 1 month old today, finally filming a video on the actual day I'm supposed to. So I'm actually going to combine both his update and my update in one video. I just think it's going to make it a lot easier for both me and you guys. He had a doctor's appointment when he was 3 weeks old where he got weighed and measured, all that stuff, and he's perfectly healthy. And he was 8 pounds 11 ounces at that doctor's appointment, so about a week and a half ago. His next appointment is not until he is 2 months old for his vaccinations, stuff like that. He is officially out of newborn size clothes and into 0 to 3 month clothes, which are still a little bit big for him, but he was too tall for the newborn clothes, so I had to switch him. And he is still in newborn diapers. We tried moving him up a size to size 1, and we had so many poop explosions. It was unreal. They do seem to fit him a little better, but they're just a little too roomy around the leg that everything escapes out the side. So we put him back in newborn, which I feel bad because you can tell that they're pretty tight on him, but they keep everything inside the way they're supposed to. So he's going to be in newborn size diapers for a little while longer at least. He's much more alert through the day now. He'll stay awake for like 1 to up to 3 hours at a time, which is great. And he tells us stories. He's very vocal now. He has started making like a more high-pitched sound, whereas before he was always making like really low, like grunty sounds, like a little old man. It was so funny. He now makes more high-pitched sounds as well. He goes down at night between like 9 and 11 depending, and he'll then sleep for like between 3 and 6 hours at a time, which is amazing. And he is still just nursing. It's not that I've been giving him formula at night or anything. He just sleeps really well throughout the night. So he goes down, like I said, between 9 and 11, and then he'll wake up again between usually 2:30 and 5:30, and then he'll go down a second time as well. So sometimes we don't get out of bed until like 9 o'clock in the morning, which is amazing. Max definitely did not sleep this well this early on that I can remember. At night he is still sleeping in the bassinet on my side of the bed, and we do co-sleep once Jeremy gets up for work, but Jeremy is too heavy of a sleeper for Wyatt to sleep in the bed between us. Just to be on, the safe side. He wouldn't obviously mean to roll over him, but he is a super sound sleeper. Like, I would have to shake him awake. So I just feel more comfortable with the baby being in the bassinet until Jeremy leaves for work. And then during the day, he has started to hate being put down. So like he's asleep now, but he is like comfort nursing almost. Like he's not actually eating because he's not really hungry, and he will like drop off, and then he needs to be still held to remain asleep, which has meant that I've been getting basically nothing done, and this has only been like the last week or so. So I'm kind of hoping that this will stop soon and that he will at least be put down in a swing or something. But right now, if I even make a move to put him down, either in his bassinet, in his crib, swing, it doesn't matter what it is, he will immediately wake up. And if he's still tired, it will just be screaming blue murder. Sorry, I just turned the light above off because it was making things look a little strange behind me. He is a side sleeper. I know they recommend babies to sleep on their back with their head turned to the side, and I put him down that way, but he always just rolls over onto his side. It's just how he's most comfortable. And sometimes if he's fussing, if I tip him over to the side, like if he's too asleep to roll over himself, then he immediately settles down again. So he's not rolling over flat on his belly, so I feel okay with him sleeping on his side. He doesn't get his face smushed up in the side of his bassinet or anything like that, so I think it's fine. He does still have a little bit of the startle reflex, so every once in a while He will hiccup really loud and scare himself, or just randomly through the day hears a sound, or if I put him down or pick him up too quickly, he still gets that like startle reflex, which is really cute, but I think most babies grow out of that by now, if I'm not mistaken. He loves looking outside, like out the windows, probably just the light compared to inside. And he also loves looking at the fan in the living room that's like above the couch. We never have it on. I don't think I've ever turned it on. But he just loves like staring up at the ceiling right at the fan. And I don't really know why. It must be the contrast between the fan and the white ceiling. He has rolled over from his belly to his back 3 times now, which I looked it up, and babies aren't supposed to do that until between 4 and 6 months. But it's not a controlled, like, I want to roll over kind of thing. It's more like it just so happens that my arm is straight or underneath me. So if I flail hard enough and he like swings his head around, he ends up on his back. So I know it's not like really rolling over, but he's definitely making some moves there. He has started to need to be a part of everything, whether it's we're having supper at the table, he wants to be right there in the bouncer. Or if we're watching TV, he wants to be set facing the TV so he can see where the sounds are coming from. And he absolutely loves his bouncer. He's not the biggest fan of his swing yet. He doesn't really like the noise it makes. On Tuesday, when he was 4 weeks old, he had his first real smile. The very first smile was the prospect of the boob coming, which is hilarious. And after that, he was smiling at Jeremy all evening. It was just so adorable. He was making funny faces and like squishing his cheeks together. And he was smiling in response. I guess more of his likes and dislikes. He hates too much noise. So I went to visit one of my best friends who has younger kids, and she also watches younger kids. And of course they're like playing and they want to see the baby, and he was not happy. And our house is not quiet, like we still talk and Max plays when he's sleeping, so it's not perfectly quiet, but this was like a lot more noise than what he's used to, and he was not a happy camper, that is for sure. He hates having a dirty diaper. He will definitely let you know if he is too wet or if he has pooped. He does not want to stay in that diaper, which is a good and a bad thing. Like sometimes he will be so close to falling asleep and then he pees and then he is immediately wide awake and angry. So then he needs to comfort nurse back to sleep again, which gets very tiring for me. And he also has hated baths up until his last bath was his first happy bath. So it was also the first bath we actually used like proper products in the bath, and we used a comfort like oatmeal and lavender body wash for him, and he was immediately mellowed out, which I don't really believe in all that like aromatherapy kind of stuff, just because nothing has ever really made a difference for me personally. But he screamed every single bath, no matter what. Didn't matter if the temperature was perfect, like he just hated being naked and wet basically. He was screaming, and then we put the soap in the water, and then he was like, this isn't so bad. It wasn't like super pleased with it, but he wasn't screaming anymore, so there's definitely progress there. And his 2 favorite things in the whole wide world is snuggles. He loves to be like right on your chest, or even if we are co-sleeping, he still wants me to be like wrapped around him so he can feel me. Like he either needs to have his arm on me, his head needs to be touching my arm, something like that. Like he doesn't want to be left alone at all, with the exception of through the night in the bassinet. But that's only when it's like actually dark outside. Like as soon as the sun comes up, game over. And he loves the car, which Max did as well. he'll be really upset. He can be screaming as I'm buckling his seat into my car, and then as soon as we're in drive and moving, he's happy. And then he's mad again if like the red light is too long, which I totally feel him on that. Nursing is going amazing. We are back like 100% to breastfeeding. I've stopped pumping just because I found it so tedious. I had to do it for like 2 weeks almost out of necessity, that I haven't really been pumping and storing any, which, I mean, it would be nice if Jeremy could take a feeding every once in a while, but I'm fine for right now, just nursing him like with no bottles or anything. He, as of last week, has stopped taking the soother or pacifier, whatever you would like to call them, and so he has started comfort nursing all the time. Like, he will not take a soother at all, even in the car seat. When I cannot comfort nurse him, like, he wants to be on the boob basically all the time, which, I mean, I don't really mind that much because I don't have any like cracked or bleeding nipples anymore. Like, they're not sore, but at the same time, like, it's really hard to get things done. Like, sometimes I just have to let him cry for a few minutes so I can finish the 3 dishes I have left or something like that. I don't really like the cry it out method, but to a certain extent, I think it's fine. Like, if I really just need to pee and you need to be put down for 2 seconds, like, you're gonna have to cry for a minute, like, that sort of thing. His hair and eyes are continually getting lighter. Like, his hair is basically black when he was born, and his eyes were like that super dark blue grayish color, and they're still getting lighter blue. They might still change to hazel or something, but as of right now they're still blue, and his hair is like a really light warm brown now. Not really sure if you can see it. And like under his collar is where he has most of his hair down there. And he is getting much more hair than he had before. Like, it's starting to fill in a little bit. So I think that's everything I had to update you guys on for Wyatt. On to my postpartum super great adventure that I seem to be having. I'm going to start off light. My weight is currently 141 pounds, which means I'm down 30, which is amazing. So I only have 10 more to go, and I don't even feel like that heavy. Like, in my mind, like 10 pounds is a lot, which I can still see like a lot of the weight in my face, and like I definitely see that I am bigger, obviously, but I don't feel that big. Like, I feel okay. A few days before he was 3 weeks old, pretty much right after I was finished all those medications for my infection in my uterus, and we are happily back to breastfeeding, I got mastitis, of course. I didn't hear too much about it except for that it is extremely traumatic, and I definitely agree. I was feeling perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden I woke up one night and I felt like I was getting stabbed in my right boob. Like, actually stabbed with a knife. I was in so much pain. I immediately burst into tears. I wasn't even woken up by the baby. And so we went to the hospital, and sure enough, I have mastitis, which I haven't really looked that much into, so I'm unclear on whether it's an infection in the breast tissue or an infection in the milk ducts. But either way, like, my whole boob was red and splotchy and hard and like literally hot to touch. So I was on more antibiotics, which I don't really understand how I can go from finishing really heavy duty antibiotics to, I think it was 4 days after I finished those, having another infection, which I needed different antibiotics for. Like, I don't know, I find that really strange. But that seems to be cleared up now, which is great. Literally probably 24 hours after starting the medication, I felt like leaps and bounds better than I did previously. Around the same time, my bleeding and pain has flared up again. My bleeding had almost stopped completely. Like, I was having to only have light panty liners on, and now I'm having like super heavy, basically a period bleeding, which I'm only 4.5 weeks postpartum, so I really don't feel like I should be getting an actual period yet, especially since I'm breastfeeding. And the pain is back. Not nearly as bad as it was when I had an infection, but definitely there. So I was sent for an ultrasound. I had both an abdominal ultrasound and an internal ultrasound, which I'm waiting to hear the results of, just to see if there is any like pieces of placenta or anything still there that may be causing this, but I'm really hoping that that stops soon. Like I had said earlier, nursing is going great. My milk supply seems to be perfect for him, maybe even a little extra, but not enough that I feel like I should pump. Like I'm not feeling engorged ever unless he sleeps for like 6+ hours, which is perfectly understandable. But I'm still having to wear nursing pads, which I find super annoying. Like as soon as he cries, both boobs are like turning a faucet on. And I don't know if like that should stop because I can't wear anything other than like nursing tank tops and nursing bras because I need to be able to fit a nursing pad in there without it looking ridiculous, if that makes sense. So I think that's everything I have to update you guys on for my postpartum update. I'm now going to show you what my belly looks like 1 month postpartum. So it's a little over 4 weeks if you want to look at it that way. It's June 9th today, and Wyatt was born on May 9th. I probably should have said that at the beginning of this video, but. So this is what I'm looking like 1 month postpartum. I fit back into my regular clothes. I haven't tried any regular jeans yet just because I know it's going to give me like weird muffin top, basically. But I've gone down significantly since my first update, especially. This, so it looks like with the shirt up. So it's gone down a lot. I have a waist again officially. I still have like extra weight here in the love handle region, and I still have like all this extra skin, which I'm thinking of getting a belly band, but I don't know if that will help. I've read that you're supposed to put those on like pretty much immediately after birth, and like I have extra skin even here, which like I said before, I did not have with Max, but it's gone down so much. So like I said, that was everything for this update video. If you have any comments or questions, definitely leave them in the comments section below. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!